here we are. Oh, just get that sorted so you can actually see me. So here we are again on our Tuesday, and the weather's okay, but it's not flash. So, but it was really lovely to have you all on Zoom today and see you all. And I'm loving all these wonderful, wonderful videos that are coming out about your special place in lockdown. Because it's really nice to share those special times with each other. And some of the videos have been amazing. I've absolutely loved them. And as for you, Tatum Hookie, with that amazing swing you have, wow. And you, Lucas Dulwich, love the beautiful, beautiful tree you climb, which is quite fantastic. And Genevieve, loved how you take us through the bush. It was pretty cool. And you too, Luke Smith. So, my friends, I think we're coming to the end. But never fear, Mrs. P is here, and I have another book that we're going to read. So let's see what happens. Remember, Ivan was looking at that door. Here we go. Do you want to try again, Ivan? Maya asks. I think of Ruby and I tell myself, okay, it's time. 1, 2, 3. And I carefully push the door open. And all of a sudden, I'm outside for the first time in a really long time. There's sky and real grass and a real tree. And going up the tree's a tiny little ant. And there's a real stick on the ground. And I hear a bird tweeting, and there's real dirt for me to get my fingers in. And I look up, and there's a real cloud in the sky. And then I feel the wind in my fur. And I see a beautiful little flower, which isn't painted. It's for real. It's for true life. And there's a rock. And then all of a sudden I lift my head because there's wet stuff coming down from the sky. And it's real rain. And guess what? It's all mine. It's mine. It's all mine. I sniff and I sort of strut a bit. But the others don't welcome me. They sort of show their real sharp teeth and their big loud voices. And I'm not quite sure what I've done wrong. Kenyani actually chases me and throws a stick at me, and then she puts me in the corner. I know she's testing me to see if I'm a true silverback, one who can protect her family. But I just cower in the corner and I hide my eyes. And Maya, thank goodness, comes back and takes me back to my cage. I lie awake that night and I try to remember what it was like being a real gorilla. I need to remember how we move and how we touch and how we know who the boss is, because I've forgotten all those things. I try to think past when I was put into Mac's house and I was treated like a baby and I had a motorbike and popcorn and I wore clothes. I try to imagine what my life would have been like if I didn't have all those things. I go out again and the young male comes up for me. He's having a look at my food. I have to imagine being a different Ivan. I have to pretend that I'm my father's son. I grumble and I swat and I stagger around and I beat my chest until the whole world hears. Kenyani watches. That's good. And so do the others. So I think I'm doing the right thing. And I move towards the young upstart that came up to me to try and steal my food. And he starts to back away, almost as if he believes I'm the silverback. But he doesn't need to know I'm just pretending. I'm making a nest on the ground. It isn't a true jungle nest. The leaves are not very good and the sticks sort of break and they seem to snap whenever I want to put them into a special place. The others watch, grunting their disapproval, like they're saying, it's too small, or it's not going to work, or it's ugly. And I start to really wonder whether I'm going to be able to be a real silverback at all. But when I climb into the leafy cradle, it actually works. And it's almost like I'm floating on treetop mist like I used to when I was a baby. Maya wants me to go back in my glass cage, I can tell, because she's tempting me towards the door with a trail of tiny marshmallows, and she knows how much I love tiny marshmallows. I try to ignore her. I don't want to leave the outside because it's a beautiful day and I've found just the right spot for a nap in the sun. But then she adds yogurt raisins to the trail, and she knows that I just have to eat yogurt raisins. In the glass cage, that TV is on, and it's another nature show, and it's all sort of weird and wobbly, and it's not very well focused. I expect to see gorillas, but none appear. And then I hear this really loud noise, like a toy trumpet, and my heart starts to go ba-boom, 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 and I rush close to the screen, and there she is. Guess what? It's Ruby! She's rolling in a lovely pool of mud with two other young elephants, and another elephant approaches, and she's so much bigger than Ruby, and she touches Ruby and she nudges her and she makes these soft, lovely elephant noises. They stand side by side just the way Stella and Ruby used to, and their trunks entwine like they're holding hands. I see something new in Ruby's eyes, and I know exactly what it is. It's joy. I watch the whole thing, and then Maya plays it again for me, and again and again. I just can't get enough of it. And at last she turns off the TV and carries it out of my cage. I put my hand onto the glass, and Maya looks over. I try to say thank you with my eyes, because I really mean it. She understood what I really needed, just like Julia used to. Kimyani ambles towards me and she taps me on the shoulder and runs away. I watch her, arms crossed over my chest, and I'm careful not to make a sound because I have to be strong and I have to be brave, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. She ambles back and then she shoves me and she dashes past, and then I realise what's happening. Guess what? It's my first time playing with a real gorilla, and we're playing tag, just like I used to do with my sister Tag. And guess what? It's my turn and I'm it. But then something funny happens in my heart, and I sort of make eye contact. I do apologise. That's Mrs. P. Spencer. He makes a big barky noise. All of a sudden, I make eye contact, and then I show how clever I am, and then I strut, and then I grunt, and then I throw a stick, and I grunt some more, and I make some moves. Do you know what? Being romantic is really hard work. It looks so easy on TV when the adults, all the big people, just lick faces, and I'm not sure I'm never going to be very good at it with Kimyani. I so wish Bob was here and I could ask him some advice. I try to recall all the romance movies we watched together, and I remember all the talking and the hugging and the face licking. I'm not very good at this, but it's fun trying. And that's my dog upstairs playing catch with my children. Is there anything sweeter than the touch of another as she pulls a dead bug from your fur? You humans wouldn't know how fabulous that feels. Gorillas aren't chatty like humans, prone to gossip and bad jokes, but now and again we swap a story under the sun, and one day it's my turn. I tell my troop about Mac and Ruby and Bob and Stella and Julia and George, and about my mummy and daddy and my sister Tag. When I'm done, they all look away really quietly, and then Kimyani moves closer. Her shoulder brushes mine, and we let the sun soak into our fur. We're really good friends now, and we are together. I've explored every nook and cranny of this place except for a hill at the far end where workers have been repairing a wall. They're finally gone. They've left behind fresh white brick and a mound of black dirt. While the others laze in the morning sun, I want to explore the hilltop. They've been there before and I've not. Everything is still fresh to my eyes. I take my time going uphill, savouring the feel of grass on my knuckles. The breeze carries the shouts of children and the drowsy hum of bumblebees. Near the top of the hill is a low-limbed tree, the kind my sister would have really loved. The wall is endless, clean and white, stretching far down to the habitats beyond my own. It's high and wide and carefully built to keep us in and the others out. This is, after all, still a cage. It rained last night and the pile of dirt is soft to the touch. I scoop up a handful and I breathe in the really lovely smell. It's a rich brown colour, heavy and cool in my palm, and the wall waits like an endless blank billboard. It's a big wall, but it's a big pile of dirt, and I am a big artist. I slap handfuls of mud on the warm cement and I make a handprint. I tap my nose with a muddy finger and I make a nose print. I slide my palms up and down. The mud is thick and hard to use, but I keep moving and scooping and spreading. I don't know what I'm making and I don't care. I make swoops and swirls and thick lines and figures and shapes and light and shadow. I am an artist at work. When I'm done, I step back to admire my work, but it's a large canvas and I'd like to get a better view. I go to the thick-limbed tree and grab the lowest branch and I try to swing my legs. I land hard. I think I'm a bit heavy to climb. I try again anyway, and this time I pull myself onto the first limb, gasping for breath. I'm a little bit out of shape. One more limb, two, and I can't go any further. Perched halfway up the tree, I see my troop still dozing contentedly in the sun. I take in the walls, splattered and splashed with mud. Not much colour, but lots of movement. I like it. It feels dreamy and wild, like something Julia might have made. From my seat in the tree, I can see beyond the wall. I can see giraffes and hippos. I can see deer with legs like delicate twigs. I can see a bear snoozing in a hollow log. And I see elephants. She's far away, belly deep in tall grass with others by her side. It's Ruby. She's here, Stella, I whisper. Ruby's safe, just like I promised. I call to Ruby, but the wind tugs at my words, and I know she'll never hear me. Still, Ruby pauses for a second, her ears spread wide like tiny sails. Then, with a lumbering grace, she moves on through the grass. It's a cloudy evening, chill and drizzly. Dinner is on the way, but I don't care. At night, we sleep in our den, but I'm always the last to head inside. I've been inside long enough for my life. This time of day, there aren't many visitors, just a few stragglers leaning on the wall that separates us. They point and take a couple of photos, then move on to the giraffes nearby. One of the keepers is beckoning. Reluctantly, I turn to go. Out of the corner of my eye, I see something running and I pause. It's a girl with dark hair lugging a backpack, and a man follows behind, racing to catch up. Ivan! The girl yells. Ivan! And it's Julia. I scramble to the edge of the wide moat that skirts the wall. Julia and George wave to me and I dash back and forth, hooting and grunting, doing a gorilla dance of happiness. Calm down, says a voice. You're behaving like a chimp. I freeze. A tiny nut-brown, big-eared head pops out of Julia's backpack. Oh, that's a nice place. It's Bob! It's really Bob! How? George's job at the zoo doesn't start till next month, so he and Julia made an arrangement. She's walking 3 extra dogs to cover my food, and get this, they are all poodles, says Bob. You said you didn't want a home, I say. Yeah, but Julia's mum likes my company, so I figure I'm doing everybody a favour. It's a win-win. Julia pushes Bob's head back inside her backpack. You're not supposed to be here, she reminds him. Ivan looks great, doesn't he, Jules? George asks. Stronger, happier even. Julia holds up a little photo, but it's too far away for me to see. It's Ruby, Ivan. She's with the other elephants now because of you. I know I want to tell her. I saw with my own eyes. We stare across the expanse that separates us, and after a while George pats Julia's arm. It's time to go, Jules. Julia gives a wistful smile. Bye, Ivan. Say hello to your new family. Thanks, Dad. This has been really cool. What are you thanking me for? Well, for all of this. You made this possible, Dad. They turn to leave. The lamps that light the zoo pathways blink on, blanketing the world with a yellow light. I can just make out Bob's little head sticking out of Julia's backpack. You are the one and only Ivan, he calls. I nod, then turn towards my family, my life, my home. I am finally a mighty silverback. And that is the end of that glorious story. Now, you can watch this story in film, because The One and Only Ivan is a film, and it's a beautiful film, and it might be something that you might like to watch with your mums and dads sometime this week. So tomorrow we'll have a new book. God bless. Sleep tight. Mwah.